Welcome to this place called Earth and the project, Somatic Inversions, decoding the signals beneath behavior. In this short triangulation, the nervous system cost of being pulled into someone else's conflict. Take a slow breath and recall a time you were dragged into a situation that wasn't yours, a conflict, a misunderstanding, or an emotional storm. Feel the tension that appeared in your body. Triangulation is not just manipulative, it's somatically destabilizing. This short inversion reveals a difficult truth. Triangulation isn't a communication issue, it's a nervous system manipulation strategy. Let's decode it. What triangulation really is. Emotional outsourcing. Triangulation happens when someone refuses to address an issue directly and instead vents to a third party, uses them to send messages, seeks alliance instead of resolution, weaponizes, avoids direct emotional responsibility, manages conflict through intermediaries. Triangulation looks like, I'm upset with them, so I'll talk to you. But beneath that behavior lies avoidance, insecurity, fear of confrontation, the desire to control perception, the need for emotional buffering, a displacement of emotional responsibility. Triangulation is emotional outsourcing. Triangulation overloads the nervous system of the third party. The person being triangulated feels hypervigilance, tension in the chest, confusion, obligation, relational pressure, emotional conflict, divided loyalties, responsibility they never asked for, because the body knows, this isn't mine, this isn't safe, I'm holding feelings that don't belong to me. The nervous system is forced into a state of double tracking. One channel is monitoring the triangulator, one channel is monitoring the person being triangulated about. This split is psychologically and somatically exhausting. The triangulator's body betrays the truth before their words do. People who triangulate show clear subconscious tells. Restless fidgeting, breathlessness, excessive justification, inconsistent tone, inability to hold eye contact when asked direct questions, facial leakage when shifting blame, nervous pacing, sudden urgency, victim-like softening of voice, micro-pauses before answering. Triangulation is not built on truth, it's built on anxiety. The body reveals the manipulation long before the story collapses. Triangulation creates moral distortion and ethical inversion. Here's where the hybridization with moral and ethical inversions becomes essential. Triangulation flips moral responsibility. The person who avoids becomes the victim. The person who is indirectly confronted becomes the villain. The third party becomes the emotional container. It creates false narratives, distorted alliances, covert loyalty tests, relational imbalances, manipulation disguised as seeking support. Triangulation is a moral inversion because it makes dishonesty look like vulnerability and avoidance look like sensitivity. Triangulation breaks co-regulation between the original two people. Healthy conflict requires directness, presence, emotional ownership. Triangulation replaces this with emotional enmeshment, nervous system fragmentation. This breaks the co-regulation loop between the original two people. Instead of, you and I resolve this, triangulation creates, you manage my feelings toward them. It collapses relational integrity by distributing responsibility across people who were never part of the dynamic. The third party often becomes the regulator of the entire situation. When someone triangulates, the third party ends up mediating, calming, analyzing, predicting outcomes, absorbing emotional content, solving what they didn't create, protecting one person while misunderstanding another, carrying guilt, confusion, and tension. This is emotional labor that does not belong to them. The nervous system becomes overloaded not because of the conflict itself, but because of misplaced emotional ownership. Triangulation damages all three people. The triangulator loses integrity, avoids growth, and reinforces fragility. The third party absorbs misplaced emotional weight, gets dysregulated, and becomes entangled. The excluded person feels misrepresented, betrayed, unsafe, and misunderstood, all without being involved. Triangulation fractures trust across the entire relational system. Everyone loses something. The somatic test. Am I being pulled into a conflict that isn't mine? Ask yourself, do I feel tension or confusion when someone talks about someone else? Does my body tighten when I'm expected to take sides? Do I sense avoidance instead of honesty? Is this conversation seeking resolution or seeking an ally? Do I feel responsible for information I don't want? Am I being used to regulate someone's anxiety? Is this conflict bypassing the person it actually involves? Your body knows when you're being triangulated. It tightens, it braces, it wants to exit. Listen to that signal. So to close this short, triangulation may look like communication, but it is the opposite. It is nervous system avoidance masquerading as an emotional connection. It destabilizes relationships, fractures trust, and misplaces responsibility. Healthy relationships are confronted directly. Unhealthy ones manage emotions through third parties. Triangulation divides the space between people. Truth restores it.